Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. A very good afternoon. Salam sejahtera, sawadee. First of all, to Kun Tapana Sri Wadana Bhakti, the Chairman of CASN, distinguished guests, excellencies, fellow presenters, as well as those following us online, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be talking about Malaysia's recovery plan. Now, this is more on the micro level. You have heard from Dato Lim Jojie, the Secretary General of ASEAN, regarding at the macro level, at the ASEAN level. And I will go into more towards what Malaysia has done towards the reopening, and resilience. Coincidentally, I'm also on the recovery mode because this is not my original voice. Because yesterday I went to cheer the Malaysian badminton team. And unfortunately, they didn't win. Congratulations to India, who won and beat Malaysia for the first time. And we shall see today whether India will progress into the finals. Okay, now. The first case, let me go into the background before I go into the recovery plan that we have come out of this COVID-19. The first case was reported on 25th of January 2020. Now, this was from a Chinese tourist, and I think it was also around the same time where in Thailand, in Bangkok, there was a reported case of COVID-19. At that time, no one actually knew. It was not reported widely in the media, and only in February and March, there was a spike in the COVID cases. And then people started to question. The public started to say whether, you know, is it safe? The government then started to really come together and assess the situation. Now, the first death was reported in Malaysia on 17th of March 2020. Now, the implementation of what we did was on the 18th of March 2020. That was the first lockdown, what we call the MCO, Movement Control Order. Now, Movement Control Order enforced under the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Act 1988 and the Police Act 1967. Now, list of activities allowed and prohibited during MCO, and police and armed forces set up roadblocks. People can't move freely. It's only 10 kilometers. And MCO was in effect for 1 year, 7 months, and 2 weeks. That's in Malaysia. Now, how did it impact the economy? Severely affected the economy, halting all business operations deemed non-essential. Now, when speaker before that spoke about the connection, the linkage between the businesses, the tourism industry with the people, and it is very, very difficult to define what are the non-essential businesses. And everyone, when we look at, okay, the factory you have to close because you are non-essential. And when they look at all the things, then the logistics you have to close. The transportation you have to close. So then everyone, actually we thought, we at the end of it, everyone is essential. All the businesses are essential. So effectively, it impacted, mostly impacted the SMEs and halted export production. SMEs were severely affected, causing many to face financial struggle. Now, Malaysia's export were ordered to stop operations during the 2-month lockdown, causing it to contract by 8.3% compared to a negative 1.7% growth in 2019. Now, in April 2020, Malaysia reported a trade deficit of RM 3.5 billion. That's about 1 billion US dollars after 169 consecutive months of trade surplus prior to the COVID. Now, the first MCO also impacted the tourism industry, suffering losses of almost 10 million US dollars in tourist expenditure, or about 45 million ringgit. And with all economic losses combined across industries during MCO 1.0, Malaysia suffered a total of RM 2.4 billion per day. It is not per month, it's not per year, per day. Now, what is the National Recovery Plan? Now, let me show you the National Recovery Plan. The government set up the National Recovery Council, headed by the former Prime Minister. Now, it was introduced by the government on 15th of January 2021. A roadmap to control the COVID-19 pandemic while progressively reopening society and the economy towards the new normal. Now, the new recovery plan, or I call it NRP, is based on 5 important sectors: strengthening the healthcare, immunizing the rakyat meaning immunizing the people, supporting people and businesses, data and science, and whole of government approach. Now, the 5 objectives are: protect public health by managing transmissions, minimizing hospitalizations and deaths. Second is ensure that the healthcare system can cope in a sustainable manner. Third, deploy vaccinations as quickly as possible to protect the people. Fourth, reopen society and economy as fair and as quickly as possible. And fifth, be responsive and flexible in adapting the evolving environment. Now, this 4-phase plan lays out guidelines for each phase and the 3 thresholds based on the headline indicators that indicate when a shift in pace could be considered. Now, the 3 headline indicators are 3 specific metrics that provide a view on our progress and are critical in making decisions on easing restrictions. Now, the headline indicators are average number of daily new cases. Let me change this. Average number of daily new cases, which provides an intuitive indication of the rate of transmission. Utilization of ICU beds, which provides a good indication of system capacity to respond. And third, percentage of the eligible population fully vaccinated, used as the key metric to track vaccination progress. Now, the measures focus on the people and the businesses. And measures for the people are what we call Measures for the people. The first is Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat. It's the same as what in Thailand, where it targets the B40 group with an income bracket of ringgit Malaysia 5,000. It's about 1,500 US dollars and below. And then we have a special assistance for COVID-19. It's a direct cash assistance to alleviate the cost of living and burdens faced by the people due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The third one, the program came out under these measures for the people, is Prihatin Kasih. It's a provision of cashless food aid under the Pemerkasa stimulus program announced in March 2021. Now, Prihatin Kasih recipients will receive a monthly cashless allowance of 100 ringgit for a total duration of 3 months via their MyCard account. The next one would be Jaringan Prihatin program, a total value of ringgit Malaysia 3.5 billion, almost 1 billion US dollars, provide subsidies for subscriptions to telecommunication services or the purchase of mobile devices for B40 families with children, especially those still in school. The next plan or measure that been put forward was loan repayment assistance. This is an additional repayment assistance for individuals and SME borrowers. Under this package, announced on 28 June 2021, all individual borrowers, whether from the B40, M40, T20 and micro SME groups, can opt in for a 6-month moratorium. Next is the iCitra withdrawal. It was introduced to provide an additional financial stability facility to employees' provident fund, EPF members, affected by MCO restrictions, enabling them to fulfill their basic needs and ensure their livelihoods. Next, what the government provided was to provide customers can enjoy free daily 1 gigabyte internet data until 31st of December 2021 for 24 hours. And this is to encourage Malaysians to work and learn from home and align with the government's short-term recovery plan. Next is that what the industry, this is the industry-led professional sector certificate, and this is for the Human Capital Development Program under the Malaysia Automotive, Robotics and IoT Institute in cooperation with industrial players. Now this certificate aims to produce skilled operators and technicians through special modules and training at workplaces in the span of 6 months under the IPC, under the industry-led professional certificate. And participants will be exposed to general industrial knowledge, industrial skills and work ethic, basically to enhance their knowledge and their skills, so that once the MCO is lifted, then they can come back and be more skillful and more knowledgeable. The next one is the SIP Prihatin. It's also another form of financial assistance to workers registered under the Employment Insurance System, as mandated by the Employment Insurance System Act 2017. Those who have lost the employment as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. That was the measures for the people. Now, measures for the businesses. GKP, in short, or what it means is in English, Prihatin Special Grant. It's a one-off financial assistance to qualified micro, small and medium enterprises to alleviate the financial burden of businesses while increasing productivity of production and services. The second measure for businesses is the wage subsidy program. This is the financial assistance paid to employers for each employee every month. It aims to support employers whose operations have been affected by COVID-19 with continuing operations and retaining employees who in turn will benefit from being secure financially. Yeah. The third one is SN Microcredit or Credit Penjana. It's a financing loan scheme offered to micro enterprises to help them sustain their business operations and gradually enhance their productivity. The next is Go e-commerce campaign. We heard a lot about the previous speakers talking about e-commerce and enhancing. Objectives of this campaign is to support local businesses to join the e-commerce platform by focusing on the promotion of sectors such as halal, handicrafts, agriculture, retail and services to help increase the sales and reach of Malaysian small businesses. Now, below are the incentives offered through this campaign. Relief of, I will go to that. Relief of or reduction of registration costs, equipment costs, or starter packs, relief in the monthly subscription fees for and annual maintenance fees, merchants discounts in the form of discount codes, product discounts, and store vouchers, transaction fees for commission payments, merchant discount rates, and payment fees, free shipping by merchants, in-app platform advertising, including credits for advertising, third-party services for content writing, photography, and outdoor advertising, such as social media ads and word search. Now, as I go to the last part of my presentation, measures for tourism industry. What we did was the opening up of the vaccinated travel lanes with Singapore. As you know, Singapore is one of the important trading partners for Malaysia. And daily commuters from Malaysia to Singapore is about 500,000. There are many Malaysians who actually work in Singapore. And they were greatly affected. And it started, although quite late, because we were, both governments were not sure yet whether to open, but eventually we started to open 29th of November 2021. And that started the virtual, vaccinated travel lane. Then we expanded it into with Thailand. But then Thailand started opening up, and then we opened the borders beginning from May this year. We followed similar model like Phuket. As you know, just below Phuket there is an island called Langkawi, and we also did the Langkawi bubble. But it started only in 15th of November 2021, where we similar to the Phuket bubble or Phuket sandbox. Then what we did was, for the businesses, especially for the business, for the tourism industry also, MIDA, the Malaysian Industrial Development Authority, one-stop center for business travelers, started on 2nd of October 2020. So we allowed them to come and apply for the business visa and business facilities. Now, beginning this year, 1st of April 2022, full reopening of the borders of Malaysia. We abolished the mile travel pass. If I can equate it, it's similar to Thailand pass. So you don't have to go through the internet and apply for the My Travel Pass to come into Malaysia. So entry rules further relaxed from 1st May with no quarantine and no PCR test for fully vaccinated travelers and no insurance needed for all travelers. So we are fully open. You see when we started opening on 1st of April, only 2 borders were allowed. Bukit Kayutam and Sadao, and also Wang Pachan and Wang Kelian on the Malaysian side. I went last month. I went to the southern border, and people were literally asking me when is the Sungai Golok, Rantau Panjang, Takbai, all the borders are opening. So I said, no, this are being discussed, and I'm glad to say that as of last week, they have opened all the 9 borders in the land borders. So we are fully open. But one thing I want to, so these are all the relaxed entry rules from 1st of May into Malaysia. When it's X, meaning that it's not required anymore. So you don't require quarantine, you don't require PCR test, you don't require insurance. Mind you, I have experience, I've gone through the 2 weeks of quarantine in Malaysia when I went back in 2020. I've experienced the 2 weeks quarantine in Bangkok when I came back here. I've experienced the 7 days of home quarantine last year when I went back, home quarantine in Malaysia, and I came back here. I have to experience another 7 days of quarantine at the hotel. So I understand, we all understand the need to have restrictions, but as we slowly recover and reopen, there is a need for us to look at what are the things that we need to see. What are the things that we need to reopen gradually? I think the people are the industry, the tourism industry especially, are requesting the government to abolish the Thailand pass. I tell you one experience. There are many, when they say Thailand is open, many Malaysians want to come to to Thailand. Malaysia is the 2nd largest contributor for tourists, foreign tourists, prior to the COVID pandemic. We come right after China. Now there are many, but they think that Thailand is open, but it's actually well, the details are not there. They don't read the finer prints. When they book the tickets, they just book. When come to the airport, they don't have insurance. They didn't register under the Thailand pass. So I would like to request, if possible, TAT or any government agencies to request the airlines to put in a big font, big letters in their website for them. If you continue to have the Thailand pass, please ask them to apply for the insurance as well as to apply the Thailand pass. So this is my request. Finally, I would like to say that Malaysia is open for business. Malaysia is open for all tourists to come, and we hope to see you probably after your tourism year, maybe next year or the year after. We can look at Malaysia tourism year. Thank you very much. I leave my presentation here for now, and thank you for bearing with me for for the past 15 minutes. Thank you.